Every morning just crying, thinking this is not going to be what's going to happen every single day. It's just so hard to get through it. I just don't know how to get through it.
Tell me about his childhood. Did he play sports? Was he in scouts? What kinds of things did
Yes,
he
he
do?
played sports. He played sports from the time he was 5 years old up until he was 17. And he was in basketball, he was in baseball, he was in football, and loved NASCAR. He and his dad went to the NASCAR races all the time. Loved sports, and he was a good kid. Had two best friends, and that's who he grew up with, and still are friends with them today. And there's nothing that would have predicted any of this could have ever happened.
Yeah.
Nothing in his childhood at all. I would have never in a million years thought something like this could happen to him at all.
You didn't see things like him getting into fights? Or...
No fighting. He was quiet, and he got along with people, and he didn't start anything, and he was a perfect teenager, tell you the truth. He did not even rebel. He wanted to go to NASCAR Tech. We made that possible for him.
What did he do after he finished school?
He worked at the dealership as a service technician and was making good money and loved it. He bought a toolbox, and he started buying his tools, and enjoyed it. He was doing well.
When and where did he meet Shanann?
They met, and he liked her, she liked him, but it didn't, I don't think that was love at first sight or anything. They took a little while and I guess got to know each other and, dated. It was always a little strange that she always said a lot of things about Chris in front of me that I didn't like. Like, this isn't the kind of person I would date. He doesn't know how to do this, or he doesn't know how to do that. He looks like a skater boy.
The world had already judged Chris Watts, calling him a monster. But for his mother, Cindy Watts, the story wasn't over. She stepped into the public eye not to excuse, but to explain. She described her son as normal, easygoing, someone she could never imagine committing such horrors. Cameras captured her grief, but behind her composed words lay disbelief. She insisted that while Chris may have killed Shanann, he could not have harmed his daughters, Bella and Celeste. "I just can't see it," she said, voice trembling. Cindy questioned whether Chris had been coerced into confessing. She claimed the plea deal wasn't about justice, it was about avoiding the death penalty. Every word added another layer to a story already impossible to believe. She revealed private conversations, where she implored Chris to speak the truth, to never admit to things he hadn't done. Here, maternal instinct clashed with public horror, and the tension was palpable. If you're following this story, subscribe to Crime and Whispers for more chilling explorations of the human mind. Like the video if Cindy's perspective shocks you, and leave a comment. Do you think she's protecting her son, or lost in denial? Share this video to spark discussion, because this story is far more complex than headlines ever told. Cindy's interviews didn't just defend her son, they questioned Shanann Watts. She described their marriage as very hard, claiming Shanann isolated Chris, controlling the home, and pushing him to despair. Pause. Her words shocked many. Cindy suggested that Shanann might have been more capable of harming the children than Chris. She spoke of small conflicts, moments she observed, each one she believed showed a toxic environment. Cindy's portrayal of her son trapped in this marriage made viewers question, was this a mother's denial, or a glimpse of truth from someone who knew him best? She recalled conversations where she warned Chris to never confess to anything untrue, highlighting the pressure he faced. Take a moment to subscribe to Crime and Whispers, like if this insider view fascinates you, and comment your thoughts. Was Shanann controlling, or is Cindy protecting her son? Share this story to explore the murky depths of family influence and the psychology behind tragic crimes. Cindy's disbelief over the deaths of Bella and Celeste was chilling. "I know my son," she said, voice calm but heavy, "he didn't do that to the girls." The statement left viewers unsettled, because the reality of the crime was undeniable. She spoke of sleepless nights, replaying memories, questioning how her son could commit such acts. The tension between maternal love and horror gripped the audience. Cindy also addressed the plea deal, suggesting Chris acted under immense pressure. In her view, the truth was more complicated than the verdict. While reflecting on this story, subscribe to Crime and Whispers, like the video if Cindy's perspective unsettles you, and comment, do you think she's protecting her son or lost in denial? Sharing this story opens discussions on morality, love, and justice. Cindy spoke of public judgment, media scrutiny, and the impossible position of being mother and grandmother to victims. She described society demanding a clear villain, while she wrestled with a complex, messy truth. "I still love my son, and I forgive him," she said, leaving viewers stunned. The emotional paradox of loving someone capable of the unforgivable was impossible to ignore. She admitted she might never understand why it happened.
Folks, introduce yourself for the record.
The world would soon see her for the first time, sitting in a courtroom, trembling, trying to find words in a story that had already taken everything.
And if I can have you folks introduce yourself for the record.
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watts.
Thank you. And I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed
Can
today?
I read that?
Yeah, do you want me to start?
I want you to start, but I would like to read
Who's
that.
going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me, and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
if I could start, Your Honor. On behalf of the Watts, Your Honor, and to the community, we thank you for the opportunity and the recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today as the grandparents and the parent of the daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any way condoning or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family in saying this should never have happened. This is not condonable. This is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed. They were searching for answers. They were not intending to cause any pain to anyone, and they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. We understand and we join the family in that we have questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the steps that he did, and that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take the gestures and put this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment. That had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. And had the death penalty been sought, counsel would have fought for his life, the prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle, the families would have been torn apart, this community would have had to subsidize it and endure it, and we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior.
In her final interviews, Cindy reflected on life after the crimes, sentencing, and her ongoing struggle to comprehend the tragedy. She prayed for peace, for understanding, for healing that might never come. Pause. She described her son as shaped by circumstances, by a marriage she called toxic, and by pressures no one could fully understand. Cindy's words offered a haunting glimpse into a family fractured by tragedy, where love and denial coexisted with horror and grief. Subscribe for more crime and whispers stories, like if Cindy's perspective made you reflect, and comment, where do you draw the line between protection and denial? Share this video to reveal that sometimes, the closest to monsters are those who love them most.